Hey, how you doing? It's me again, Ed. Word. This video is really just going to be about some stories that I have with cars involved in it. I got quite a few of them actually. Whether you find the stories interesting or not, I don't know. That's for you to judge in the comment section. I won't be able to fit all the stories in this video, so I may make another video. A little background is that I grew up in Hawaii. I was there into my early 30s, and then I moved to Florida. Let's get going with the stories. First story is, it was basically a friend of a friend. Picked up I think it was like a 99 or 2000 Civic hatchback EK. Had a B18, I believe, inside of it with Jackson Racing supercharger. A bunch of our car guys met up. We're over at the gas station by Walmart. And he said I could drive the car. So he gave me the keys and I took the car up the road, went up towards about 2 blocks or so up to Homedepot over there, turned around and came back towards the gas station. Well, while I was coming back up, I was making sure the supercharger was working just fine. And the car was pretty loud. Normal Honda fashion, I opened it up. Of course, I'm banging off red line and shit just like any other Honda owner would do. And so I opened up first, second, third. Then I get to the stoplight, I had a green light, so I was still going. All of a sudden I see this cop, like shit. So I let off the gas. Cop pulls up behind me, throws on his lights. I turned back into the gas station that my other friends are at. The cop came up to me, asked me what I was doing. I think he asked me, what the hell are you doing? And I told him, my friend just bought this car. He didn't know if the supercharger was working properly, so I was just kind of testing it to see if it would build boost to where it was supposed to be. I just was trying to do a quick run and just to make sure it was working properly. So the cop asked me for the license and registration. I told him it's not my car. I don't know where it's at. You know, I don't want to open up the glove box because it's I don't know if this guy does drugs and stuff and there's drugs in there and then we get drug charges. So I'm like super nervous at this time. So I told the officers it's not my car. I pointed to the guys. It's actually his car over there that I was testing. So I don't have any of the paperwork with me. And so I opened up the glove box. Of course, there's no registration, no safety, no insurance card, nothing inside the glove box. So he goes up to the guy, talks to the guy. Luckily, the guy told him that I was a mechanic that was working on his car and that I was testing it for him to make sure it was working properly. So we both had the same story, even though we didn't talk about it pre-hand. The cop came back over to me. He said, you know what, I believe you guys. This was the day before Christmas. You're respectful, you're nice, you're honest with me. So have a good Christmas. If you're gonna do something like that again, don't do it on this main road. Go take it onto a back road somewhere where there's no other cars or people around. And I said, of course I said, yes sir. And the entire time I'm like shaking, I'm nervous because I'm like, I'm going to jail tonight. I got no one to bail me out. I don't want to go to jail. The guy's car that I was driving, he didn't have any paperwork. He had a title, but he didn't have it with him. He didn't have the bill of sale with him. So yeah, that could have probably turned pretty ugly quick. Next story is gonna be my weed eater story. I was living with my parents at this time. I think I was 17, 16, somewhere around that time. One of my good friends, Brian, he decided to make his own race gas. But before he put it in his vehicle, he wanted to test it on my weed eater. It was a mix of, I don't know, jet fuel, some RC gas, octane booster, and probably some other things. I don't know what the heck was all in it. But yeah, he mixed all this stuff in it and we put it inside my Walmart weed eater. I think it was weed eater brand too. And so we emptied out the gas, we poured the gas in there, started it up. As soon as it started, the RPM, you know how you get a trim when you put it on full throttle? On idle, it sounded like it was past full throttle. So that thing was freaking screaming just at the idle. And then we hit the throttle and went even higher pitch. It was like crazy sounding. Like, I swear we had like probably like tripled the horsepower out of that stupid weed eater. And then we're like, we gotta shut this thing off. This thing's gonna blow up. So we go and hit the off button on top of the trimmer. And guess what? It's still running. So we're freaking out like, what the hell are we gonna do? So we pull the spark plug wire off. Thing's still running. It's running like a diesel at this point. No spark, nothing, just you know, 2-3 times the RPM of what it should be running at. And we're over there freaking out. We open up the gas. We start dumping the gas out the trimmer, afraid this thing's gonna blow up in our face while we're doing it too. We empty out the gas and there's no gas in there. We see the lines go empty. And then when the line's empty, it still runs for like another 3-4 minutes just on fumes. And then it slowly starts dying down. And then after a few minutes of like no gas in there, it finally went ahead and stopped. I probably shouldn't need to say this, but that trimmer never worked again. We never got to fire back up. He did make some revisions to his gas, made it a little more mild, I think, and then he eventually actually put in his vehicle, which was a Suzuki Sidekick, I believe. He also put a leaf blower in the intake, but that's probably a story for a different video. Another story I have, one of my friends, this is back when I had my Sentra. I used to autocross the Sentra a lot. And not this Sentra, my first Sentra. And I got a story behind why I don't have that car anymore. So I used to autocross a lot, so I had helmets. I had 2 helmets. And we were hanging out one day and we had to go, I think we had to go to O'Reilly's or something. We had the bright idea, let's go put on our racing helmets and go drive around. Now he has this 96, 97 Civic hatchback with wheels, a really super clean car. Here's a picture. Not a race car, far from a race car. So we're all cruising around town, both of us wearing these helmets. We look like freaking idiots. I swear people are just like looking at like us like, what the hell are these guys doing? I know it's not that great of a story, but to actually be cruising around town with race helmets and a Honda that looked like that was kind of fun. Sometimes it's just kind of fun to be an idiot, I guess. I'm gonna save running from the cops for the next video. And I'm also gonna save my going to jail in the next video. But we can talk about when I moved from Hawaii to Florida. I'm not gonna go in details why I moved from Hawaii to Florida in this particular video. Just know that I moved to Hawaii to Florida with my family. We had the house already over here, but yeah, we just basically brought a suitcase and some clothes and that's it. My plan is we're gonna fly into Atlanta and buy a car and then use that car to drive down to the house. I found a car on Facebook Marketplace. It was a 92 Civic hatchback, had Volk-TE 37, so I really wanted the car. It gave me an excuse to buy that car. They wanted like $4,000 for the car. So before we took the plane trip, I pulled out $6,000. I made plans to buy that car. We got into Atlanta the next day at like 5 o'clock in the morning. It was still dark out. And I messaged the guy and he said, I already sold the car, sorry. I just talked to him the night before. So I was a little upset that, because I put all my eggs in that one car. So my wife is pissed off. She's yelling at me that we didn't make any plans. We called up an Uber. I don't know, I'm thinking like, let's just go to Walmart and get some stuff. The Uber, we tell them we want to go to Walmart. We told them, yeah, we just flew over here. We're not too sure where we're going yet. We're supposed to be buying a car, but that fell through. And the Uber driver's like, are you guys hungry? I'm like, yeah. So he's like, I got a place. So he took us over to this restaurant. And we got breakfast over there. He offers to buy us the breakfast, but we went ahead and we bought it, and we actually paid for his too while we're at it. And we're over there, and we're told, yeah, we're looking for a car. We got about $5,000. We don't know where we're going yet, but that's what our plan is, was to try and find a car. So he's over on his phone eating breakfast. He's looking at all these different places for cars. He found a 2010 Honda Civic. DX, I think it was. He showed us that, and at that point, I'm like, we're so tired because we spent 18 hours from Hawaii to getting there because we had a long layover on one of those. So he shows us the car, and like, yeah, it looks great. It was at a dealership. He's like, yeah, let me take you over to the dealer. I'm gonna turn off the Uber app so you don't have to worry about paying for it. And I was like, oh, don't worry about it. No, we're gonna pay you, but if you want to turn it off, we'll pay you under the table. So he takes us over to the dealership. So we went over there and we gave him, I think, $100 or $120 or something like that. And went into the dealership. We want to buy that car. And they looked at us like, you want to test drive it? I was like, yeah, I guess so. So we went and go and test drove it. Went up the road, went back. I was like, it turns on, it drives. Looks like it's gonna get us home. So yeah, we wanna buy it. They start talking to us about financing. It's like, no, I just wanna pay cash. You're gonna have a check mailed? It's like, no, I got cash. I wanna pay cash. It's like, well, we normally don't do actual cash. Well, I got cash. You guys want it? So finally we get through the financing office and we deal with all that, and we give him the cash. He didn't have change to give us the exact change, so he's like, yeah, I owe you guys like $3.42 or something like that. He's like, I'm not worried about $3.42. I just want to grab this car, go home and sleep. It was about a 4-hour drive to get to our house from Alanta. Wasn't in love with the car, but it was a nice car. Next story, short, sweet, to the point, without getting myself into too much trouble. So in Hawaii, we had 2 Home Depots, one on each side of the island, and we would take the load and go truck from one Home Depot to the other to pick up stuff once in a while. And so I'm my way back at picking up stuff, I get a call from my boss saying that someone called and said the load and go truck is on Saddle Road going over 100 miles an hour. Saddle Road's the road that goes from one side of the island to the other in the middle. So after he calls me up and tells me someone said you're going over 100 miles an hour, I told him that is complete bullshit. The governor on this stupid Ford is 98 miles an hour. There's no way in hell I'm going 100. His response was like, please don't tell me that. And I don't think it was ever brought up after that, so we're good. I'm not telling you how I know governors on Ford F-250s are 98 miles an hour, but it is. Anyway, if you like this, cool, thumbs up, I guess. I got a lot more stories. Maybe some of them are more entertaining than these ones, maybe not, I don't know. I just wanted to do something a little different. I could have embellished these stories and make it more exciting, but it's not my style. I'd rather just say how it is. Thank you for watching. Aloha. Peace out. Catch you in the next one. You still there? I think I see you.